I'm telling you, this is news you can't ignore. A hot scoop coming straight out of the Motor City. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, tension, and pride. This isn't just any week. It's the lead up to Monday Night Football against the Ravens, and there's an update that could hit every Lions fan right in the feels. Hold on tight because you need to hear this. If you carry that one pride spirit in your heart, go ahead and subscribe right now, because we've got real talk fan analysis every single day. Drop a like. It seriously boosts the channel and shows that the Honolulu Blue and Silver fan base is alive and well. And hit the comments too. I want to hear your voice. Every opinion adds to this virtual stadium. The community grows together and no one gets left on the sidelines. All right, Lions fans, here's some hot news that's not easy to swallow. Marcus Davenport left the game against the Bears with both ankle and shoulder injuries, and Dan Campbell didn't exactly bring the relief we were hoping for. He said on 97.1 The Ticket that there's nothing new to report, and they'll only know more towards the end of the week. And with Monday Night Football right around the corner against Lamar Jackson, that uncertainty weighs heavily. I've seen a lot of injuries mess up plans here in Detroit, and I know you all carry that memory too. It's no secret that Davenport has a complicated injury history. He played very little last year and hasn't been able to string together 4 full games since 2022. That's a major concern, a really big one. Now, Campbell did try to project confidence. He said the depth is good and that Brad Holmes did his job well during camp, bringing in guys to hold down the fort. And sure, we saw Hutchinson step up in week 2, getting 5 pressures and a sack. That was special. It really was, because he needed to show up after a quiet debut. Besides him, Alquadin Muhammad also made a statement with 3 pressures and a sack, showing he can handle more snaps. Campbell even praised him publicly, which is a sign he'll get more playing time against Baltimore if Davenport can't go. But to be honest with you, looking at the back end of that depth chart is scary. Tyrus Wheat, Pat O'Connor, these are guys who have a lot of effort, but not the same pedigree. And in a game against Lamar, every single detail matters. We know what it's like to face that guy. He escapes, he runs, he improvises. Without a solid rotation on the line, the fatigue can be brutal in the fourth quarter. I remember that time we thought we had him contained, and suddenly he broke 3 tackles and ran for 50 yards. That's the kind of ghost we can't afford to repeat. There's a chance they might elevate Andre Carter II from the practice squad. It wouldn't be a dream solution, but it's better to have fresh bodies than a gassed-out defense. The fans want quick answers, and I get it. The women in the fan base are also calling for urgent reinforcements on Twitter, reminding everyone that a team with Super Bowl aspirations can't be playing around with pass rush depth. So, all that's left is to wait for an update by Friday and hope that Davenport can at least contribute on a limited basis. But the feeling is one of caution. Campbell has always been transparent and never hid a serious injury. The fact that he hasn't declared Davenport out is a small positive sign. But look, if that guy doesn't play, all the pressure falls on Hutchinson and Muhammad. It's going to be a tough battle, and you're only getting this unfiltered fan perspective right here, living this dilemma with you. Stick with me, because the next piece of news impacts the prep for the Ravens even more. Now hold on to your seats, because this move was unexpected and full of strategic thinking. The Lions brought Mullet Cunningham to the practice squad. Yes, the same guy who started as a quarterback, then converted to a wide receiver, and played for both the Patriots and the Ravens. And guess what? The Ravens are their next opponent on Monday Night Football. Coincidence? I don't believe in coincidences in the NFL, especially when it involves behind-the-scenes prep. Cunningham spent time inside the Baltimore system, went through their practices, and breathed that offense that revolves around Lamar Jackson. This means he can offer 2 valuable things. First, he can provide inside information, details on routines, play calls, even coverage reads he's seen. Second, he can serve on the scout team, simulating Lamar's style in practice. And let's be real, no one truly imitates Lamar, but having someone with similar athleticism helps a ton with defensive preparation. This is a chess match, and the Lions are trying to anticipate their moves, and it doesn't stop there. Along with Cunningham, they also brought in tight end Ross Dwelley for the practice squad, but I'll get to him in a minute because he has a direct connection to another injury that's a cause for concern. For now, the focus is on the psychological impact of this addition. Fans are already commenting, "Whoa, are we turning into Raven spies?" Look, I wouldn't call it that, but it was a smart move, no doubt. You can never have too much information when you're eyeing the playoffs. And when Campbell was asked about the pressure after the win against the Bears, he gave one of his classic quotes. Every win is special, but the first one tastes different. He even mentioned his time with the Saints, when they started 0-2 and then rattled off 9 straight wins. This guy always tries to pull a lesson from the past to keep the team on track. And honestly, he's right. There's no point freaking out about one loss or getting too hyped about one win. But I also know this. Fans feel the immediate weight of it, especially when the season carries so much expectation. To be honest, I see this Cunningham signing as a double message. 1. We're seriously preparing for Lamar. 2. No one is going to let a negative narrative take hold after that initial stumble. It's a quick reaction, and it's a sign that Detroit isn't sleeping on the job. Now, of course, the debate remains. How much real impact can a practice squad player bring? The truth is, on the field during the game, it could be zero. But during the week in preparation, it could be massive. And you only get this kind of insider take, this fan perspective that lives and breathes this team like family, right here. So comment below. Do you think Cunningham can really help, or is it just a smokescreen? Because next up, we have news about the offense, and it involves an injury that will change the rotation. Here's the deal. The win against the Bears was a party, of course, but it also brought another headache. Shane Zylstra got a bad ankle injury and has been placed on the injured reserve list. That means at least 4 games out, and the front office acted fast, bringing veteran Ross Dwelly to the practice squad. For those who don't know him, the guy has experience. 6 seasons with the Niners, a stop in Atlanta this year, and plenty of know-how to fill in as a backup. He's not a star, but he's the kind of player you're thankful to have when the rotation gets thin. Now, check out this interesting detail. Even with Dwelly's signing, the open spot on the active roster wasn't filled by a tight end, but rather an offensive lineman, Tristan Colin. The guy has been with the Ravens, played for the Cardinals, and has 51 games under his belt. Detroit knows that depth on the offensive line is just as vital as it is in the receiving group. Against Baltimore, who loves to send exotic pressures, every snap counts. This move shows foresight. You don't just patch the hole where the injury happened, you think about the whole picture. Meanwhile, Brock Wright has officially taken over the second tight end spot. And I'll tell you what, against the Bears he showed up. 3 receptions, 28 yards, and he even scored a touchdown. That's not just a detail, it's confidence. He was already a useful piece, but now the spot is officially his until Zylstra returns. And with Laporta healthy and balling out, we're still well served with our starter. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but Dwelly won't even see the field. That might be true, but in the NFL, you can never have enough depth. One tough practice, another unexpected injury, and boom. You need someone ready to step up, and having a veteran with a resume is different from just taking a chance on a rookie with no experience. I've seen seasons fall apart from a lack of options in positions that seemed covered. Another thing, the signing of Colon also has an emotional read to it. The guy knows Baltimore, has practiced against that system, and any small detail in prep is a weapon in our favor. It seems minor, but these things make a difference. A true fan knows that games are won on the sidelines just as much as they are on the field. So, yes, it's a painful loss to be without Zylstra, but it's also a sign that Detroit is reacting quickly. No waiting for a tragedy to repeat itself. The front office and Campbell have learned from previous years, when you lack replacements, the season collapses. Here, at least, the action was immediate. And hold on, because the next piece of news goes back to the defensive side and features a statement from Campbell that's dividing opinions. Fans, listen up, because this one got to the heart of the debate. Dan Campbell stood his ground and said he's not concerned with the defensive line's depth, even with Davenport's injury. And I'll be honest, a lot of people didn't buy it. Since the beginning of the offseason, fans have been calling for a big-name reinforcement to play opposite Hutchinson. But the front office held back, preferring cheaper bets, and now we're in this situation. 3 truly reliable names on the roster and nothing beyond that. Campbell, in that 97.1 The Ticket interview, repeated his line. Nothing new on Davenport, I'll only know at the end of the week, but we're in a good spot, we have depth. He even mentioned Holmes's post-camp acquisitions, reinforcing that there's confidence in the backups. But let's be real, Tyrus Wheat and Tyler Lacey haven't shown anything in a real game yet. The fans aren't dumb, they can feel when the speech is more about calming nerves than revealing reality. The good part is that Al-Quadin Muhammad is growing. Against the Bears, besides the sack, he showed energy, chased plays down to the end, and earned direct praise from Campbell. He can be that workhorse who holds things down, but depending on him as a fixed starter against the Ravens is a risk. I've seen too many promising Lions get burned out too early from too much responsibility, and that fear won't leave people's minds. And there's more. Facing Lamar Jackson requires an elite rotation. It's not enough for Hutchinson to just explode in the first half. In the third quarter, if you don't have fresh bodies, he's going to escape, he's going to improvise, and he's going to punish you. Campbell talks about population to the football, but that only happens with rested legs. And right now, the rotation is thin. There's no way around it. For me, this "we're fine" speech has 2 sides. One, of course, is to keep morale high and show confidence in the locker room. No one wants to send a message of panic, but the other side is dangerous. It seems like stubbornness in not recognizing that yes, an external reinforcement is needed. Older fans remember what we suffered through with shallow lines, when one or two injuries became a bottomless pit. I was at Ford Field on days like that, and it hurts to remember. The reaction on social media was immediate. Women in the fan base also jumped into the discussion, demanding transparency. There's no point in putting on a mask. If one more guy goes down, the defense falls apart. And look, I can't disagree. The NFL is a long season, full of hits, and depending on three names in such a physical position is a lottery. The cliffhanger is clear. By Friday, we'll know if Davenport is playing. But if he's not, the truth is, we're going to need a miracle from the rotation. And you'll only find this raw, passionate fan analysis right here, with no sugarcoating. After all this, you can feel that we're living through another one of those weeks that only the Lions can provide. Hope and concern walking hand in hand. Davenport, defensive depth, practice squad additions, every detail matters on this journey. I've seen this team fall and get back up, and I still believe this season can be different. Monday Night Football is the ultimate test, and we're going to face it head-on. Comment below. This space belongs to everyone who lives the one pride life. Catch you in the next video.